Hi Lalo, I'm going to talk about my favorite TV series. Look, TV series is like one of my favorite hobbies. When I have time, I look all the series that I can because I love it. The TV series that I'm going to talk about right now are my favorite six. Are The Middle, Malcolm the Middle, Mentalist, The Big Bang Theory, 24 Hours, and Doctor House. I'm going to talk about their characters and what's about, and my favorite chapter of each one. The first one that I'm going to talk about is The Middle. That is like similar than Malcolm the Middle, but is like the one that right now. The Middle is a family of five persons. Frankie, that is the mother. Mike, that is the father. Axel, that is the brother, the bigger brother. Brick, that is the smaller, and Sue, that is the sister. That family is like a disaster. Everything happens. Her house is little for five persons and is all in the floor. Anything is in their place. Each person has their personality. Like Sue is like the good girl that don't deserve that family, but is like so sweet and have 16 Brick is like the little one, it's super intelligent, don't want to be with that family, but is there. Their birthdays, never remember it, and Brick remembers and do everything to that family. Axel is like the teenager, half 19 years old, is in university, is going to go to university, but is like a disaster. Don't know what the different grades that he has, don't have practically nothing. When he comes to her house, like sit in the sofa and don't do anything until like eat french fries and look TV. Is the only thing that he do. Their fathers are like completely different. Frankie is like the mother that wants all order and she is a disorder. And Frankie is like one time in one side and the other in other, depending what combine. Uh, Today in the morning I look a chapter of The Middle and was like so funny. I think that is one of my favorites. I look it like 20 times. Is when is the birthday of Sue and their parents remember it like at 10 o'clock at the night when they are going to go to bed, and they remember it, start talking about it, the both of them, and go to the bedroom of Sue and say like, oh, happy birthday, etc, etc. Brooke remember it and he's like celebrate Sue at the morning, at the afternoon, and in the night their parents go with a cake like at 11 of the night, but appears magically in the kitchen. But Sue like think that was like a surprise that their parents do to she, but it's like so sweet and it's like, yeah, I'm 16, etc, etc, etc. When anyone of the house remember it, they call a cousin in the telephone and the cousin no remember it and say like, okay, hi Sue, goodbye, no, like congratulations or something like that. I think that that's one of my favorite chapters because you look like Brick that is responsible, Axel that don't matter was like, I want to go to bed, go by, Frankie and Mike that are a disaster, and Sue that is like so sweet and everything is like one of those days in the series. Now I'm going to talk about the second TV series. Is Malcolm the Middle. It's a family of six. Right now, like in this time, is like of seven, but it's not that cool that before. Malcolm the Middle is Malcolm, that is like in the middle of the family. Francis, that is like the brother bigger, that is in the military. Dewey, that is the little one, and Reese, that is in middle of Malcolm and Francis. Hal is the father and Lois is the mother. Lois is like a conflict. She don't know what to do, what to say, but everything falls down when she's there, and works in like in a market. But their chief is like in love of boys. Hal is the father that is in one side, but isn't it right now, but is right now, and is like isn't comfortable in any time. He all time is out of the house. He prefers being out of the house because his house is a really comfortable place. Francis is in military, but by their bad comportment. Reese is like the not intelligent of that house, don't know what is 2 plus 2. Malcolm is like the super intelligent of that family. He has a friend that is in a wheelchair and love it. He's all time with that person and pass all life with them. Malcolm is like the one that isn't need to have to be in that place. Dewey is like the smaller, is like the bad part of the cake. He was a disaster. They don't want to have another children and have a Dewey. He's like being without fathers, without brothers, or brothers do bullying all day, all time. The three of them are in one bedroom and their father's in other. Their TV area, the kitchen and their bedrooms are like a disaster. They are like in the floor, things, plays, everything. But they are there. And like that TV series talk about one day or one vacation or something like that that the family made. This series was before than the middle. The middle was like the copy of Malcolm the Middle, but was like a good copy in my opinion. Some persons are like, no, Malcolm the Middle is original. The middle is like not the same like Malcolm, but it's a good replay. And I thought that the best chapters that I love is when they go to vacations. Any chapter I go to vacations in that family is like a disaster, and I love it because everything pass in that vacations. Everything, like the car stops at the middle, in the middle of the trip, or when they go to the park, in the water park, they loses everyone, or Lois have like everyone in her hands. It's like a disaster. Everything passed in that vacations. I think that if one vacations of mine were like that, I think that I'm going to go out of that family because I will hate it. But it's like so funny. Look that programs like that doing these different chapters that makes you laugh all the time that you are in looking the TV series. The next TV series that I'm going to talk about is Mentalist. Mentalist is like the detective TV series. It's one of the most favorite TV series that I love it. There are like two best chapters in this TV series because there are like a lot, but like sub chapters. And it's Patrick and Lisbon. Patrick is the one that like a psychological go into the minds of the persons, and that's the way he like discover who kills someone or something like that. But Lisbon is like the one that stay all the day of work with Patrick, that is in love with Patrick but don't say it, but is like all day with he because he's like a disaster, and if you don't see it in one time, he's like a little boy. If you don't hear it, he's going to do a bad thing. So this one is the one that is like behind him, like, no, Patrick, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, or like erasing their bad movements. The mentalist is, each chapter is about one day of criminal work. If someone kills someone, appears there and make like a research, and all of they need to make, and all they pass to know which persons kill that the person that are investigating. The next TV series that I'm going to talk about is Doctor House. Doctor House is like all different series about that I talk about before, but Doctor House, in the chapters are like a lot, but the best like part of Doctor House that I love, I'm going to talk about them. Doctor House is like the best doctor of all place. Cody is like the chief of Doctor House. Foreman is like the chief of Doctor House, but as a chief of Cody, but isn't the team of Doctor House. Third team is the girl of the team of Doctor House. Amber is the wife and the girlfriend of Wilson. Wilson is the best friend of Doctor House. And Chase, that is the one that is in the team of Doctor House, one of the most important. This TV series is about like one case of a medicine problem with a person or something like that is going to look Doctor House, but Doctor House never looked their patients, and Cody or Foreman look them. All the team is working with the patient and look like what happened and told to Doctor House in their office. Dr. House has a gun in her leg and is with a like a but all time. In like she's Cody is in love with Dr. House, but it's like love in love and all of that stuff. Amber in an accident died. In an accident that was with the Dr. House, died, and Wilson were alone. Was by that were like in trouble with Dr. House because he all time said that Dr. House killed Amber when wasn't there. Foreman 13 and Chase has like a good and bad relationship because are a team, but sometimes they need to fight each other to like look the patients, because one have like analysis and the other have another analysis and don't go with the hand by the final analysis. And sometimes the people died and they need to like recreate and be forced to look what happened and all of that stuff. This series is like each chapter is about a patient and a problem, but also the life of Dr. House that is like invested in drugs in her leg and in Cody. Right now I'm going to talk about my favorite TV series. There is The Big Bang Theory and 24 Hours. Both of them have like a lot of characters and important characters. In The Big Bang Theory is Dr. Sheldon Cooper, that is the main character, that is like the most important and intelligent of the university. Then is like Dr. Leonard, that is the best friend of Sheldon Cooper, that is intelligent and all of that stuff, but in other area than Sheldon. Ragash, that is an Indian person, and is like he has like a problem. He can't speak with the women. If he's like with alcohol in her body, he can speak with. But if not, he's like being silent all the time and only like open eyes and is like yeah, but don't say anything. Howard is like the best friend of Ragash, and he is working in the same university but in the astronaut area. In one time, he goes to the space, and we're like desperate because he can be in the same area with that astronaut because he was like the engineer astronaut and he need to repair everything, but he don't want to go. Then are three girls in that TV series. Three crazy girls in that TV series are Penny, that is like the neighbor of Sheldon Cooper and Leonard that live together. But Penny is like the neighbor, but is like the really good look girl, um, and is like one time is the girlfriend of Leonard. Bernadette that works in beer factory with Penny, and one time makes Howard girlfriend. Bernadette was girlfriend of Howard, and then were husbands. Amy is like the intelligent girl, but bad looking and work in another university, but in one time is were like transferred to the same university than the other doctors. But is like the girlfriend, but don't call them girlfriend of Sheldon Cooper. They are like the same. It's like the both of them are one to the other, are the same completely. But like this two series is about the life of each other, like one day on university and then come home, and then is February 14 and Ragash that don't have like partner do a rally in all the world, that in all that place to the partners, or when they are, I don't know, in a relationship and go in a train, or they are playing dragons, or they are in the Knights of Pizza and the Knights of Star Wars or something like that. And it's like important places there is the department of Sheldon Cooper and Leonard. It's the department of Penny, that is one of the most important. The university, where all of them work there. Beer factory, where Penny and Bernadette work. The house of Howard, that her mother is like a schizophrenia person. Anyone like it. And Howard lived with her mother. And the comic books. In the comic book is Stuart, that is the friend of all of them. Stuart is in love with Penny and want to be with Penny, but Penny don't like it a lot. Is like a nerd, not intelligent person. It's like a nerd, like all of these TV series, but is not intelligent like the others. He loves the comic books, like all of them, but he has her own like stuff. But he's like all time with Dr. Sheldon and Dr. Leonard, Howard, and Ragash being there when they don't have anything to do. Penny, Bernard, and Amy sometimes go to the comic books, but don't like it a lot because them don't know what it's about and they don't love the comic book. But this TV series is like funny because there are friends and I like love it. It's like right now one of the most interesting ones that you can find in the TV. Now I'm going to talk about the TV series that calls 24 hours. It is a like police detective government investigation. It's like a conflict. But this TV series called that way because everything passed in one day, in 24 hours. The characters are Bauer, that is like the most important and the most intelligent. Kim Bauer is the daughter of Bauer, but when Bauer starts doing that, their daughter like be in danger, and the daughter goes to live with her mother, that the mother calls Cherry Bauer. In an accident, Cherry Bauer died, and Bauer were alone, and her never look again her daughter, but like 7 years ago. Chloe is like the right hand of Bauer. Help him like a lot. Is like one like she is in the computer like if it was her own computer. He can do whatever you want to do. She do it. Tony Almeida is the best friend of Bauer. Tony Almeida in one accident were in like exposed of that like associate in where Bauer and Tony Bauer work. Tony Bauer were like out of that and Bauer never looked it again until 15 years ago. Nina is the wife of Tony, but Nina dies when Tony and Nina look Bauer and help him in a case, but in that case, the bad boys kill Nina. Andrew is the daughter of the president, but Andrew is in love with Bauer and Bauer is in love with Andrew. But Andrew has a husband that is going to get married, but Bauer stop it like a lot of times, and one time Andrew say like I don't want to be with you, I want a divorce and I want to be with Bauer and stay them together. Michelle is like the bad person that come to destroy everything. The government of the United States know about this associated, and in one time the show like up to Bill Buchanan, that is the chief of the chief of the chief of that like association, call the government and the government said it's going to go Michelle and is going to substitute it because you are so like in a bad situation, so you need to have a chief and your chief is going to be Michelle, and if you want to do something you need to tell Michelle and Michelle comes to destroy everything. Michelle were like 3 months there when the government look that Michelle destroyed everything, they put it away. And David Palmer is is like the first president that appeared in the series that of the United States. David Palmer was like a perfect person, was a perfect president, was so cool. He has a son that calls Wayne Palmer. Wayne Palmer is the son that when they kill David Palmer, the father, Wayne stay in the presidency. The Palmer family loves Bauer because they know that Bauer is only want to like put alive the persons and don't want to kill them. They want to protect them. They want to protect their country. So they protect them too. Because the wife of Palmer were in danger and Bauer like protect them. When David Palmer died, Bauer were there, but in the same building, but not in the same place, and he were going to tell David Palmer that was in danger, but he can go there immediately and in a bad time. So when he come in the bedroom of David Palmer were died. Terry Bauer was the wife, but Milo Pressman was like the first boyfriend of Chloe. If you remember, I told you that Chloe was like the right hand of Bauer. She had like 2 boyfriends, like in the middle of the series. It has like a Milo Pressman that calls her like was a galan, like if you want to say it like that, but were like not so intelligent and not so a good person that put Chloe in danger and Bauer detected, and Chloe and Milo broke up. The second boyfriend of Chloe is Curtis. Curtis is like an excellent detective, excellent person in the work. But in one time they killed him because he was the only person that know how to activate and disactivate a bomb that can destroy all the United States. So the bad person like arrest them and take them in their power. But in that time, because he don't want to say it, they torture them, and then when he do it, kill them. It's then when the family Palmer died, there was a Charles Logan that was like the third president of the United States in this TV series. Charles Logan was like the bad president because he killed David Palmer and he killed Wayne Palmer to go up in the president. He only want to kill the United States and were like everything in their power and want to be like the best man in all the world because he don't like the associations that were power and he don't like the United States like Palmer led them. So he wants to destroy it and do it again. He has a wife that is Martha Logan that starts being bad like her husband, but wasn't it? Was a good person and helped Bauer in some times because she was inside of the president, inside the presidency. So put like in a Bauer in a good situation because has two persons that help him in the presidency. Aaron Price. Aaron Price is the second person. Was like a good friend on Bauer because in one time Bauer saved him. But is like the right hand of the president of Charles Logan and of the three presidents in this TV series. But in one time, like covering Bauer, and they killed them. And Aaron died. Stu Bauer was like a terrible died because he really loved him. He really appraised him like a friend. In one time, like this series is about everything. It's like about the family, the friends, the risk, and all of that stuff. This TV series is interesting because each chapter is 24 hours, is an hour, like the TV series are. But it tells you like by each hour. So like there are 1 at the morning, okay, and appears this, and then when you are like in the television, it's like are 7 at the morning. So they are going telling you the hour to you can look what happened in each hour and look that is in 24 hours this episode. The things that they need to resolve, they need to be resolved in 24 hours. That's the problem about the name of the TV series. Bauer in what time need to be incubated and need to change name, face, and place to live because she was in a really bad problem. But then he was like, my daughter is in risk, Chloe is in risk, and Adrian, my wife, is in risk. So I need to like save them. So he goes and look for Tony. There is one kills Nina, and Bauer with Tony like save them, all of them, and the association where is when Michelle goes in. But like Michelle's go in, Bauer killed them, Tony were in risk, but were alive with a really bad situation in her head, need to be like in repose like how many? I think there were 2 months, I think so, but I don't know a lot. In this series appears a lot of deaths, a lot of love, a lot of relationship, and a lot of broken. Appears about politics and about economy. appears about security and insecurity. Appears about everything in that series, and I love it. It's like if I start looking it, I need to have like all day to look it, because if not, I don't do anything and I look the series. I think that is why is my favorite TV series, and is why I led him to the last one, because I really love it. Is like I can put myself there and I can be comfortable. But well, thanks Lalo. There are my favorite TV series, my six TV series, and one of my best hobbies.